Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Kathy, and it is September 10th. Because we chatted a little bit longer than usual about different things happening, I'm going to go through setting up our protective system rather quickly. I want you to know that once you start using your protective system, and if you're new here and don't know what that is, go to YouTube and click on one of the other Sunday ceremonies, and the very beginning of it has things like the heart source, the Michael sword activating the divine violet flame. Let me get back and relax because I know I'm anxious to get it all in. So heart source. Everybody just say heart source. Now say, I am the sword. And now just say violet flame. I hope y'all feel it like I do, the expansion that occurs. Just say heart source, expand. It knows where to go. Good. And now, healing lecture room. Central pillar in the healing lecture room, and all of those wonderful beings that are coming in. There you go. Good. And now Yeshua is stepping out and inviting us all to join in a huge circle. And when I say all of us, it's those that are here live, those that are listening to the recording, no matter when you listen, because there's no space or no time in this. And Yeshua is asking you to notice the person on your right and the person on your left. And you may or may not know who they are. There you go. And Yeshua is saying to note that they with you are part of the oneness. The paradox of being part of a oneness, that feeling of separateness and oneness. And now, stepping behind you, each one of you, forming an outer circle, are your healing teams, your angels and guides that work with you. So they're directly behind you, but in a small space because it's interdimensional, directly behind you. That if they were all spread out one to one like you are in the third dimension, this would be a huge circle. And now in front of you are coming in all of the people that you mentioned before the recording that you are holding in your heart and that we have asked Spirit to hold in the heart. And when I say Spirit, that's the Creator, all that is. I usually refer to Amma and Abba. And they are in the front, the center of the circle. And Amma says one of the reasons they are in the center of the circle is because you are funneling love to them as those that are behind you are funneling love to you. And so your angels and guides who are sending love to you because of your intention through love of sending the others in front of you in love, it's a synergistic effect. And Amma and Abba, who are of course one, are filling you with love. And that love is coming in from above and below. And I'm going to mention the things that are coming to me of what is happening in the circle. First, by accepting the love, by your very acceptance of the love of your healing team and Amma and Abba or whomever you pray to, whatever name you use, you are opening yourself to be balanced on every level. And that same opening that you've given, which allows more love to come into you, you may send to people in the inner circle, some of whom may not be open to that love for whatever reason. They may think they're not deserving. And Yeshua is saying, so many people think that they're not deserving. And now flooding all of you from the circle behind you of your healing guides, and from above and below, Amma and Abba, and also filling those that you have asked prayers for. The first thing that they are sending healing love for, and all you have to do is accept it, is the healing of the heart related to the family that you have. As these are the ones you chose to be with you in this lifetime. These are the ones you chose to learn from. These are the ones that you chose, and they agreed to work together to, if you want to say, purified by fire. And it is the fire of the third dimension, the pain that you have. And Amma is reminding us, for those of you who were at that channeling of when Mother Mary talked about the pain of life. She's saying you might want to look for that message again. So first is the bringing in of the vibration that will neutralize the pain. And the only thing you have to do is be willing to let go of the pain. I kind of laugh at the only thing you have to do. To be willing to let go of the pain, that means we have to loosen our hands, loosen our heart, be willing to breathe it out of our life. And it helps to give thanks for what you have learned. And healing team, we ask you to activate all of the encodements of wisdom and knowledge related to our pain. There. And now there is love pouring through all of us, those before us, ourselves, which is cleansing your aura. We ask that the plugins to bring healing, balance to every part of our energy system be activated now. remove all tears, all weaknesses, all bruises, all bends and breaks, all congestion, no matter whether it's in our aura or chakras, whether it's in the core star or it's in the hara line. If it's in parts of our energy field we aren't even aware of. Clear all blockages in our meridians. Clear any congestion in front of the golden structure within our heart, our physical heart. And now Amma is saying, this goes back to relationship. Amma is saying, notice and this isn't a negative when I say attachments, notice the energy bonds that you have to family members that are of blood, of marriage, and of love. So like those of us who consider certain people parts of their family. Ask for the cleansing of those energetic bonds. Ask for the removal of any low vibration energy that has gotten trapped in there. Healing team, we ask you to use the implant removal plug-in in those areas. And Amma and Abba, our healing team, we ask for the most benevolent outcome in our relationships, whatever relationships they are. And now the energy is starting to come down. Before it was coming above and below, now it is coming down, starting with your head. And we are asking for the balance of everything within the brain. We are asking for the clarity in the hypothalamus that assists with short-term memory becoming long-term memory. We are asking for the clearing of all plaque within our brain. As we age, that plaque comes in. We are asking for the normalization of enzymes that may have turned upon us in our brain, that those enzymes be realigned, that they be injected with our divine blueprint as to exactly how they are to assist us in our brain. We ask for the flow of blood within our brain to be normalized to what is optimum for each one of us. We ask for the lymphatic system in our brain and that which is connected to our immune system to be optimized to be normalized to what is optimized for us. The energy is now moving into our sinuses. Healing teams, we ask you to go through all of our mucous membranes, no matter where they are, yes, our sinuses and everywhere else in our body, and search out and balance any microbe, any parasite, no matter how large it is, and release them from our bodies. We move now to the teeth and the jaw. healing team, you and I have worked together many times, and we know how complex the microbes in the jaw, the mouth, the gums are. So often we're given antibiotics to take care of things in the mouth, and yet we know that's not enough. Please balance all microbes, viruses, prions, bacteria, fungi, parasites, microbes we don't even know about that will be discovered at another time. We ask you to bring all of that in balance. We ask you to bring total and complete healing to our gums, to the bone that our teeth are in. We call upon the consciousness of the stem cells to recreate our jaw, our gums, our teeth, according to the divine blueprint. We ask you to go through the rest of our bodies, again, looking for microbes which are out of balance. We ask you to remove whatever it is, emotional or physical, which may be causing or contributing to the imbalance. For those that we are praying for, or even for ourselves as for one of those, remove all toxins from our body, especially side effects to medication, those that don't help in our situation at all. To remove any anesthesia. We have people who have had surgery recently. To remove anesthesia. To rebuild the tissue of any wounds. To go from the bottom up, healing abscesses. To search throughout the skin tissue. Any microbe that is preventing the tissue from regenerating. And again, we call for the stem cells to be activated. We ask you to look for any places with anyone who have known or unknown tumors. Send the exact vibration of energy needed to dissolve that tumor to make it harmless, and that it is then released through the blood and the lymph, sometimes the skin of the body. We ask you to look at every person's musculoskeletal system. We ask you to bring it into total alignment, to find the things that may be causing pain that the doctors can't find, and to bring it into alignment. Again, Creator, we ask you to recreate the body. We ask for those who have suffered with musculoskeletal problems, either due to genetics or to birth complications or any other reason. We ask that if the time is now, if it is no longer needed to have that difficulty, that challenge, we ask that it be healed now. We ask that the body be straightened a little bit at a time, as we know that bringing the muscles into a different shape could cause pain. We ask you to do it with gentleness, with ease, with joy. Again, we call upon the stem cells to regenerate every part of our musculoskeletal system, to remove any debris that may be there, to strengthen any bones, any discs, to put them all in perfect alignment. If there is still any energy of any accidents, fear, distress, trauma, within the bones, within the discs, within the ligaments, within the tendons, within the muscles, to remove that and give those muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones, discs, the ability to expand or to contract as needed into what is health. Amma and Abba, there is so little really known about how to manage pain. And we have people that we know and love, and it could be ourselves, who are in chronic pain. And it doesn't matter if it's chronic or acute. We ask you to lay your hands upon them and to drain the pain from them. Healing Touch has a process called the pain drain. We ask you to assign anyone who is in any kind of pain, their angels and guides, one particular person, to do a pain drain. And if it needs to be a continual pain drain, to do a continual pain drain on them. And of course, we ask for the activation of all of their encodements, which lock in and make part of themselves the wisdom and knowledge and compassion that they are gaining from what is happening to them. And Amma and Abba, you know the hearts and the minds of each one of us, of ourselves, of those we are praying for. We ask you to go to the core wound within them and bring healing to that wound. And we ask you to go to the core wound within those who attempt to cause harm and damage to others, even those that they don't know, and to bring healing to that. We ask that this healing love that is coming in to continue as long as is needed. And we thank you. And Amen Abba, before I forget, before we end, we ask you to take our planet, the areas where there is such unrest, the area where there is such pain, the area where there's such devastation from whether it be war or weather, to let your love envelop each one of those places and bring healing. Amen. So it is. Okay. That healing session was a little bit longer than what I was anticipating. So I'm going to, Amma wants to come in, and I'm going to ask her to do that. And I recognize some of you may need to leave before I finish. Usually I try to leave right on the hour, but I think that this will be a little bit longer. We may go about 5 minutes over, maybe even 10 minutes. And really, no offense to me or from Amma, no offense to Amma if you need to go. I understand that. I was not a good manager of our time today. So relax, get in your chairs, as Amma always says, that we are turning into the lecture room. And they being your angels and guides, are providing the perfect place for you to sit or to lie down. And I ask you to connect with me from heart to heart that assists me. And the next one you hear will be our precious mother, Amma. How wonderful it is to be with you today. It is wonderful to be with you always. It's just that when you are here and you know that I am coming, you are so aware of my love for you. So, as one of you were talking about healing in the family, generational healing, I said I wanted to speak about that, and I do. So, a review for what would be you, and for those who may not know about this. You chose your families. You know that. Well, before you incarnated, before there was even a you, because your soul self is the one that said, this is what we wish to learn in this next lifetime. And you went through, oh, I'll call it a great big book. Those of you who use dating apps and look at people in the dating apps and you push one side to another and say, no, not this one, not this one. Oh, yes, this one. Almost like you did that when you chose your family. Yes, this is the energy I want for my mother, my birth mother, and what it is that I am choosing to learn in this lifetime. This is the energy of the one that will be my father. Oh, look at all those generational things in this body. Yes, I want to experience being able to bring healing to myself and to the generations. Oh, look, here is someone I'm not going to choose to grow up with, but they're going to be part of my family. You choose not only the body, like you looked at all different types of body types and the way you would look, and you chose one for yourself. Your body actually has to agree to that, by the way. Because your body has something, your body's soul, the soul of your body has something to learn. And so it is a mutual decision of working together. And with your physical body comes the encodements of what it is you want to experience in so many ways in your life. You have two major teachers that you choose. One is your body, the ins and outs of your body, the weaknesses and the strengths, even the brain within your body. When you choose your body, you choose the DNA within your body, because the DNA goes all the way back generationally. We're talking about physical generation. Whereas when you work at times with for instance, the plug-in to heal over lifetimes, that is on a soul level, SOUL level. When you go through the healing of your experiences in different lifetimes. Your physical body, however, is where the healing will need to occur through physical generations. It is the body that you chose being healed with the body that your parents chose, being healed with the bodies that your grandparents and your great-grandparents, and on and on and on. It's very complex, is it not? But the body you chose had all of that. And each soul that came into that body, whichever one it was, even 100 generations ago, chose that body with that DNA, with those experiences that you were going to have. The choosing of what you are going to do in life is very complex. If it was something that you had to do in third dimensional reality, you would need a supercomputer to bring it all together. And it would still take hundreds of years, but since there is no time, healing can occur through the generations even though you chose all of these things and you knew that you would have something, this one, she pops into her head, like the Hatfield and McCoys, which is a situation in the United States of two groups that don't even remember why they are at odds with each other. This one I speak through has something like that in their family. Two sides of the family that are in conflict with each other, and they don't even remember why it happened, because where the conflict started, all of them are dead. Their bodies are gone and they have left their bodies, and they know why it happened, and they're all good friends now, those souls. And how often that happens. When you are able to heal generationally, there is a change in the encodement system, which goes back from you to your parents, to your grandparents, which then goes through cousins, siblings, your children, especially the children that you have not given birth to yet. If you're grandparents, you're a little bit too late, right? But there will still be a reaction within your children when you heal yourself and backwards. Ask to heal yourself backwards and to heal yourself forwards in time, generationally. These things are contained in the DNA. We have at times have talked about miasms. So you have the genetic components of what changed. We've done that in healing, where you ask, there are so many people with cancer or alcoholism in my family. May we go back to the beginning of that wound. And you have learned how, many of you, to identify where that began, where that wound began. Was it you? Was it the generation before, or was it the generation going back and back and back, sometimes 10, 11 generations? And you have identified that sometimes the alcoholism may have started when someone lost their precious spouse or partner or child, and to soothe their heart, they drank. And then there's unresolved grief, and then there is the alcoholism, the thing that changed the genetic code. Then there are things that are passed down, not within the genes themselves, the proteins of the genes, but on, if you take the format of the double helix of the DNA, and you think of it as a spiral ladder, where you would hold your hands, those two sides, which is where miasms, energies, can become attached, that is carried forward, and that you then inherit, but not exactly genetically, energetically. You inherit the grief, the depression, the anger, the fear, the envy, the jealousy, the rage that comes in. Where do you begin in healing this? And that is what I want to speak about. Where do you begin in healing? You begin with yourself. Yes, you begin with yourself. It is not necessarily with you and the other person you may be in conflict with. It may not be within yourself and the other person you are angry with because they're perpetuating conflict. You begin with yourself. You ask your healing team to find the wound which within you, which has your heart grabbed, or which hides your heart, or put stone around your heart, so that you can remove that stone, and what goes away is anger or fear or frustration or resentment. And what is left is compassion. Once you heal yourself, And then you heal that relationship. And it could be if you grew up in a family of 15 people and you felt abused by all 14 of them other than you need to do that with each one. And there may be one who is the core of it. And if you heal that, it's usually a parent, by the way, and you heal that relationship with your parents, or maybe it's an older sibling if your parents left by death or walking away, you find it easier to heal others. And then as you work with healing your relationship with each person, it dissolves that energy within you and between you. Now, dissolving that energy does not mean that the other person is just automatically going to let everything go, because they have a choice to make, right? Just as you have a choice to make. It is just that when you work on yourself and you work to healing your part of that relationship with the individual, even if the other one doesn't accept it, you have dissolved energy around you, which has dissolved energy around the family and within the family. And then you can stand there, sit there, lie down there in your light, in your heart source, and gather love within you in a way that is detached, and send that love to others. Now let's talk about detached. When I say detached, it is that you are not attached to any outcome. That's difficult, isn't it? Because you want healing in your family. How do you stay detached from that outcome of wanting healing? What you stay in is immersing yourself in the first ray, the blue flame of the will of God. Now, what is important is to know that we, Amma, Abba, God, all that is love itself, does not have a desire for there to be conflict between any two people. That is not the will of God that we are talking about. The will of God has to do with the grand plan of this planet, of these galaxies, with many other people, beings upon them. The will of God has to do with the love that God holds every person within God's heart, or hands, or womb, and knowing that every person has their own path and their own choice. So when you are in a place working with the first ray, the blue flame of the will of God, it is that you are in a place of acceptance. And you are able to send forth love from yourself that is not controlling. In other words, is not trying to control what happens. You may ask for peace. You may ask for the dissolution of anything that is holding on to anger and fear. You may stand there with Michael's sword and be there dissolving the low vibration energy around you, dissolving the low vibration energy in your family. If you know, let's say there's a big family meeting and somebody gets angry and there's a big blow up of some kind with anger, you immediately in your heart source, I am the sword. And from your heart and from your role as being the sword of Michael, the archangel, you stand there simply with the intention of clearing energy that needs to be cleared. And your desire may be in the clarity by saying or praying or whatever you wish for the most beneficent outcome for my family, that we may come to know and love peace and love. You will know you are detached from the outcome when you do not feel like you did not do enough if people keep arguing. When you are fully within yourself, feeling love and compassion for someone. Now, when I say this, you must understand that I am not saying that you have to be with toxic people. People sometimes make that mistake, that we are saying that. When you are able to stay fully in your heart source, when you are able to be, I am the sword, when you have the violet flame around you, and you can be with someone who is toxic to others, but is not toxic to you, you know you are in a place of detachment. It takes a very enlightened being to be able to be with toxic people for a long time and not have it affect them. If you could stay in that space for 5 minutes and then you need to go, that is wonderful, because you gave 5 minutes of the clarity of love in that situation. When you do these things, there is no failure on your part if others do not change. You have done what you were called to do. And what is it that I say? Some of you may not know, have heard this. Be the eye of the storm. Be the calm within the situation. The violet flame around you. The purpose of that violet flame is to transmute any negativity coming to you. So if someone is angry at you and they are sending their anger to you, and you have the violet flame around you, and you declare that you are the sword, that energy is transmuted. And all you need to do is allow yourself to be a vehicle of that transmutation. You do not need to set mirrors in front of you and have that energy go back to them. Why give them even more, right? Transmute that energy. Be one who transmutes. Be one who is able, for as long as you are able, to be clear in your desire and in your knowledge that you are love incarnate. In the third dimension, that takes clarity. And every minute that you are able to do that, every second that you are able to do that, provides transmutation to the energy around you. You may think, well, I might be able to do it for 60 seconds. Maybe I can hold it for 30 seconds only, Amma. That seemed useless. 30 seconds? Oh, no. That is gift. That is gift to you. It is gift to your family. And now another little trick. Oh, it's not really a trick. It's a tool, is it not? So those of you who have worked with this one know that she will sometimes, especially in one of the groups that she has, is to be there and ask me or Abba or whatever name you use for your connection to God, to fill you with all the love you needed at the time of that wound. And you can actually ask that when you are in that family group. Fill me with all the love I need right now so that I can stay in my heart source, so that I am Michael's sword, so that I have the violet flame around me and do not let it waver. But here's the little thing I want to teach you. You know there is no space or time. You know that this world is complex. I gave you the beginnings of how complex your incarnation is and how things are generated for you and what it is you are learning and experiencing. From yourself, ask me, Abba, whomever you wish, to bring to you the generational DNA of your family. And see it as the double helix. It may be surrounded in light of some kind. It doesn't matter how you image it. And you could say, would you bring 100 generations here? Or would you bring me as many generations as is needed of DNA to where this anger, resentment, fight, argument began? And hold that that double helix, and it will be many, because there are parts that go to different places, right? Hold that in your hands or hold that in your heart. I suggest you put it in your hands, just the image, and place it in your heart and hold it there. Can be your physical heart or the heart chakra. And then ask, Creator, all that is love itself, fill my family, their DNA, with all the love they need. And hold that space as long as you can. And if it is for 10 seconds, you still have brought healing. If it is for a minute, even more. If it is for 20 minutes, every time you do that, don't tally up the hours or the minutes or the seconds. Just know that every time you do that. So I want you to do that now. I want you to ask if it's one particular issue, and you can do it issue by issue. The conflict between this side of the family and this side of the family, please place all the DNA with that conflict within my hands. It could be a physical problem. Thank you, Amma and Abba, for placing that within my hands. I now place that in my heart. I want you now to see yourself standing within the heart source. See the energy surrounding you. See the brightness that is coming from you as the sword. See the violet flame there and ask whoever it is you wish to pray for, Creator of all that is, fill this DNA, my familial DNA, with all the love that is needed so that there is peace and love in my family. And let's hold that for a minute. as you continue to do this, there will be changes at the minimum within you. My blessings to you. I am Amma, the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers, and I am the mother of you and every member of your family. Blessings. Well, this is Kathy, and I really appreciate those of you who are able to change. One person had to stay, one person had to leave, but it's wonderful. That was, to me, a precious message. And I think it's, I'm thinking of my family and the situation going on with my family. It's like, oh yeah, this is so worth spending even 5 minutes a day to do that. Did you find it easy to spend that minute?
It was perfect for me. Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome, Anne. Thank you.
It was unthought of before, and I love it. And the February issue of Sedona would love having it also, because it's just the month of the love. Hearts have Valentine's.
Oh, that's true. That's
that
true.
love throughout the whole planet. Oh my God, the changes that could be wrought
Yeah.
from us being here.
You know, when you think about, we do it for the family and we may focus on the family, but think 100 generations, 10 generations, all the cousins and everything. And wouldn't it be wonderful?
Mhm.
And that's, if you wonder, what can I do? Well, that's it. Anybody else want to say anything?
This was just extra, extra special.
You're the one who generated this, Jenna.
I wasn't going to say anything today.
Because Amma said, that's what I want to talk about today. Anybody else?
Yeah, we look for purpose, don't we?
We do.
What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? How do I do it? Well, there you go. There's a purpose.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was just beautiful.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, everybody. So I will not be here next week. I will send out a notice letting people I won't. I'm going to be out gallivanting with Debbie and Joe are, well, Debbie was my best friend in college and Joe is the guy I almost married. So, and so this is the third year that we've gotten together after we kind of reconnected with our college friendship.
Yeah, good.
And it's fun. They're coming here, so we're going to go run around Arizona and go see things.
You must have
Nice.
Have a lot of fun.
Going to have lots of fun. Take care. Love all of you. Thank you. This was very special. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.